Good morning and welcome to the virtual Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism, or good evening if you're watching it at another time of day. Please join me in our opening prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we welcome you into our hearts and minds as we feel your light and love enfold us and lift us and carry us forward into our day. We ask that you help us to live as this light and love and to bring it into the world and into every experience. We ask also that you bring your healing light to all people. Help those who are sick, help those who are grieving, and especially help those who have been affected by the violence in this world. We ask that you remind us that we are all part of each other, that we are all a part of you. And we ask that you bring our loved ones close so that we may truly know that life and love continues into eternity, that we are all one in the power of love and in your light. Amen. And this week we celebrate the birthday of modern spiritualism. March 31st, 1848 is considered our birthday, and that makes us this week 173 years old. So in honor of spiritualism, I'm going to read a responsive reading that talks a little bit about spiritualism. Spiritualism is a golden key in the hand of God, an open door to greater things, a guiding light in the dead of night, and it comes on love's own wings. It's a message of love from those above whose hearts are as pure as gold, a song of peace that stills all grief, the beauty of truth untold. It's a ray of light stealing o'er your life, keeping out all darkness and sin, wrapping you tight in a garment of white, a new life for you to begin. It's a beautiful truth, pure and sweet, God's greatest gift to man, the road that leads to the things you need, so use it as much as you can. It's a flower designed by the hand of God, and it grows in the garden above. Its petals are blue with many a hue, and each one spells infinite love. It's a firm foundation under your feet and a well-paved road to truth, a beacon light set out at night to guide our wayward youth. It's a magnetic cord that binds your soul to the angels hovering near, and the voice of God telling you your loved ones are always here. It's a soothing balm to your tired nerves and food for each hungry soul. Rest and peace at the end of the road, and success when you reach the goal. A sweet peace steals o'er your soul when you hold it in loving embrace, and it paints a picture on memory that mortal hands can ne'er efface. The music so sweet, words can't define the peace that it brings to me, and I plead with love to those above to bring unto me the key. And now please join me in a prayer for spiritual healing, which will appear on the screen before you. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstruction from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. And now it's time for our healing meditation, a time where we can relax and let go of the busyness of life and just take a nice deep breath and allow yourself to settle in to this sacred moment of now. So just close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, breathing in and breathing out, and allow that breath to relax you, to soothe you, and to calm you. Just simply breathing brings you to a state of peace and relaxation. But as you imagine that beautiful light of God that is all around you, flowing in with your breath, feel that light and that deep, profound peace flowing through that physical body, bringing to you exactly what you need. Relaxing those muscles, filling those bones with healing life. And as you breathe out, release any stress or strain that you may have been holding on to. Release the dis-ease and allow the peace and the love of God to fill that physical body, bringing to every cell what it needs, every bone, every organ, every muscle and nerve, every system, every particle of that wonderful body that makes your life on earth possible. So just breathe, and breathe in that light, breathe in that love, breathe in that peace, and feel your body relaxing more and more as this gentle light simply flows and brings your body back into its natural state of ease and grace. And as your body relaxes, feel that light gently moving through your mind, quieting that busy mind, clearing out all the clutter, all those busy thoughts. Just imagine a peaceful river moving through that mind, carrying away all those busy thoughts, carrying away any negative thoughts, any less than thoughts, and feel a beautiful light filling your mind, filling you with love, with thoughts of love, filling you with a knowing that you are a part of the divine, that you are one with all that is. And feel your mind expanding and opening so that you may receive the inspiration and the wisdom that is all around you, flowing to you from all those who love you on the highest side of life. Allow your mind to expand and open and take in the thoughts of love and peace and harmony that are flowing into you and around you. As you lift into that higher mind, you begin to remember who you are as a spirit of God, as a magnificent light on this planet. And allow yourself to be that light as you feel that presence, that peace, and that love of God flowing all around you, filling you with that unconditional love as it washes through your emotional body, washes through your energy body, through your physical body, through your mind, through every particle of you. And just become aware of that beautiful light that surrounds you and that lives at the very core of your being. And imagine that light in the deepest place within you, beginning to shine brighter and brighter, larger and larger until it expands through every layer and level of you, till you know yourself as that light, as that beautiful spirit light, shining and vibrating with pure love, in alignment and in harmony with the divine presence, with the infinite creator. Just be that light, and feel that presence of you in the presence of God. Breathing, relaxing, feeling yourself loved. Feel yourself being lifted now higher and higher above the physical plane, carried higher and higher as if on the wings of angels, moving into a land of light, a place of peace, where all is perfect, where all is light, where the presence of God exists in every particle. And as you are placed down into this beautiful land of light, you see before you a beautiful waterfall. And you notice that the water isn't water at all, it's energy. And it's the energy of every color of the rainbow. And you move into that waterfall and stand beneath all those radiant rays of light. And you allow them to wash over you, to cleanse you, to clear you of anything you no longer need. Any dis-ease or disharmony, any anger or pain or hurt, any negative emotion that you've been holding on to. Here is the time to let go of the past. For as we are entering into a new season, we want to move into it brand new, free of all the things that have held us back and stopped us from being the magnificent spirits we were created to be. So stand in the light of these colors and allow the colors to wash over you and to fill you with what you need. Feel the red flowing through you, bringing you the strength and the power you need to join life, to continue to live fully as the magnificent being you are. Feel the orange flowing through you, awakening your passion, your creativity, and allow that to open your imagination and bring through you the new ideas that are waiting to be born. Feel the beautiful yellow shining down upon you and filling you and awakening optimism and joy deep within as you remember who you are as a radiant Son of God shining brightly. Feel the healing greens washing over you, filling you with life force and awakening that healing power that exists within every cell and every particle of your being, bringing to you what you need. Feel the blues flowing all around you, all the gentle shades of blue, bringing peace. And allow that peace to go deep inside and to wash away all the things that have taken you out of that deep peace, have taken you away from living in a place of peace and carrying that peace wherever you go. Feel the lavenders and purples washing over you, awakening your spirit, reminding you that you are spirit here on earth, first and foremost. And as all the colors wash through you and radiate out from you, you feel the white light of God shining into you, filling every particle, every part of you, flowing out around you and sealing you in to a ball of pure light. And you know that within this ball of light you are safe. All is well, all is perfect, for you are surrounded in the healing love of God, and that can never change. For this light will always be around you. As you step out of that waterfall, you feel yourself in that ball of light, and you begin to be lifted higher and higher above the earth itself as that radiant ball of light, shining God's light down upon the world. And feel the rays of God's love moving through you and from you, and shining down upon every being on this planet, filling every person with this love, this peace, this harmony that you feel now, and see it encompassing the entire planet, so that our earth is filled with the light of God, and the earth and every creature on it is receiving what they need to be healed, to be returned to their perfect natural state. Stand in this light and continue to radiate wherever you are, and know that wherever you go, that light will always be within you, will always be around you, and you can shine it out to every person and into every situation you encounter. So take a nice deep breath and feel that light, feel that love, feel that support, and feel all the things that all these colors have brought to you. And know they remain within you, and you can use them anytime you wish. As you hold the vision of our world healed, and our world surrounded in the healing light of God. Let us carry this vision and hold it in our hearts so that we may continue to do our part to make this the truth of our being. As you take a nice deep breath, feel yourself gently coming back to the room, feeling the chair beneath you and the clothes upon your body. And as you take another nice deep breath, open your eyes and smile. And know that all that light and all that love is there within you and surrounding you. For you are always and forever a part of God's love. And you are an expression of God on earth. And now, if we're all back, let us together recite our Declaration of Principles. In spiritualism, we have no rules or regulations, nor dogmas or creeds, but we do have a set of principles that help us to live our lives in the best possible way. So please read them with me, and they will appear on the screen. We believe in infinite spirit and that God is infinite spirit. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite spirit. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of an individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule, whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that they make their own happiness or unhappiness as they obey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter, and we affirm the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. And now today our speaker will be our very own Alison Yeardley. I know she has some wonderful words of wisdom to share, so please welcome her into your homes and your hearts. And she will be followed by a musical selection sung by Damien, LaCount, who will sing It's the Climb.
Good morning. You may remember that back in December last year, the real life, actual Star of Bethlehem appeared in the night sky. Okay, I know in reality it was in fact the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, but it was the end of 2020 and I was determined to find the excitement in anything I could. In my mind, it would be the perfect antidote to all of the difficulties of the year. I hadn't seen my family since January and Christmas had been officially cancelled. But here was a chance to see a mini miracle. To me, it represented hope and brighter days ahead. So off we set, much like those three wise men did 2,000 years ago. It seemed pretty magical to me to think that they may have been searching for that same thing in the sky, that celestial phenomenon linking our lives thousands of years apart. Yes, we had the advantage of cell phones and apps that could tell us where we would see the star, but I still felt a connection to the event that I had been told about in stories throughout my childhood. We got into the car, another advantage, and asked our phones to tell us where we would see this bright star that we had been hearing about all week. But we live in the city, and it was cloudy, very cloudy. We drove around to the highest points we could find, and at 3 different stops, we got out of the car and trudged through the snow. But the weather was against us, and an hour and a half later, we headed home without having seen it. Maybe you had a similar experience. We did meet quite a few people who were out there doing the same thing. Perhaps you saw us. Everyone was happy and chatting, keeping our physical distance from each other, but our shared goal of seeing the star bringing us together in spirit. On the way home, I counted Christmas trees and pointed out all the lights that filled me with joy. As I walked into the house, something occurred to me. If it was in fact the Star of Bethlehem, and if God had been watching us, well, then at least he knew we were looking for him, and I could take some comfort in that. It reminded me of a prayer by Thomas Merton. It goes like this. My Lord God, I have no idea where I am going. I do not see the road ahead of me. I cannot know for certain where it will end, nor do I really know myself. And the fact that I think that I am following your will does not mean that I am actually doing so. But I believe that the desire to please you does in fact please you. And I hope that I have that desire in all that I am doing. I hope that I will never do anything apart from your desire. And I know that if I do this, you will lead me by the right road, though I may know nothing about it. Therefore, will I trust you always, though I may seem to be lost and in the shadow of death. I will not fear, for you are ever with me, and you will never leave me to face my perils alone. A beautiful soul I knew used to read that prayer to me every week. And when I say it now, it's her voice that I hear. I used to love hearing it, but it wasn't until I had that experience of looking for the star that the words really spoke to me, that Thomas Merton really spoke to me. Another connection to another soul, this time only 70 years apart. This idea of connecting to people through the ages is something that has always fascinated me. I love to read the philosophies of the past and see how they apply to us today. Our lives and the times in which we live can be so different, but I like to search for the similarities that we share. Thomas Merton was a Catholic. I am a spiritualist. He was a monk, again, not something I can relate to. And he died before I was even born. But he grew up in France and in England, and he lived in America as an adult, and that is something I can really understand. Although he followed Catholicism, he spent a lot of time studying Eastern philosophies and other religions. It seems he too was searching for the similarities. And I don't always just look for links to the past. I often like to search for the similarities I share with seemingly different people today. I have a wonderful book that I share with the children in my class. Each page shows a family and the food that they eat in a week. It's a great starting point for discussion and gets them to think about the differences in our diets. I'm sure we've all had the experience of sampling dishes from different cultures. I'm very fussy with food, but I have tried frogs' legs and snails, and I'm sure you can all guess which country I was in when I did. I've also been lucky enough to eat pizza in Italy, fish and chips in England, and tacos in Mexico. But in spite of all the differences in the food, I noticed that no matter which country I was in, there was always a table and a chair and good company. We may all eat different foods around the world, but we all eat. And we all share the same traditions of eating with others. This extends to so many things. We dress differently from others, but we all dress. We communicate in different languages to others, but we all communicate. Different cultures have vastly different styles of art, but we all look to express ourselves some way through it. In 2021, there is so much that we can find that separates us from each other. We look different. We sound different. Our ideals are different. We can go back through time and find even more differences. 250 years ago, a Brit like me may not have been that welcome here in Boston. That gives me phenomenal hope because it shows me that people can change. Opinions and ideals can shift. And if we can look to the very basics in life, we can see our similarities. Now, easy to do this with someone we love. My brothers, for example, are both atheists, and between us, we have huge discussions about God and spirit. Our opinions are so different, but we love each other anyway. I'm sure you can all think of someone in your life that you love but disagree with, whether it's over which team you support or out for dinner. It's amazing how many differences we can easily cope with in our lives, right? But think of other people you know, the ones that aren't family, and even the ones that you don't have any love for. Maybe you have a co-worker that you can never seem to agree with, or the stranger that cuts in front of you in the grocery store, or that one friend who can never seem to find the mute button on a Zoom call. How easy it is to see the differences we have with them. As a challenge, can you take some time this week to see the similarities you share with them? Maybe you have different political ideals, but you both have ideals. Maybe you have different goals in life, but you both have goals. Maybe you have different belief systems, but you both have beliefs. It sounds simple, right? I know that it's not that simple. And I know that other people's goals and ideals can differ so much from our own that sometimes it can even hurt. It can take a lot of effort to see the commonalities we have with each other. And not everyone is prepared or even able to make that effort. But with God's help, with Spirit's help, it might just be possible. After all, when we put aside our dreams, our ideals, our goals, and our beliefs, none of us down here on the earth plane really know. None of us know where we are going. None of us really can see the road ahead. None of us know for certain where it will end. But when we put our faith in God, in Spirit, they will lead us by the right road. No doubt we will know nothing about it because we will be far too busy caught up in our lives and maybe our differences. But we needn't fear, for they are ever with us, and they will never leave us to face our perils alone. Thank you.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on, 'cause there's always gonna be another mountain. Always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah, yeah. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb. Keep the faith, keep your faith. Whoa.
Thank you, Alison, for that wonderful talk, and thank you, Damien, for another beautiful musical selection. And it's time to hear from our loved ones from the higher side of life. As you know, I have no idea who's watching, but I do know that the spirit world does know. And I will bring through whatever it is they bring to me, and hopefully you'll recognize it. I want to thank everyone who has sent me emails over the weeks, letting me know that they've recognized these messages and this evidence. And please, I encourage you to continue to let me know. And now I will see who's here from the world of spirit, who wants to come through. And I do feel like I have a lovely lady who's stepping through. She has a very pleasant personality. I feel like she's very gentle in her demeanor, and I feel like she would have been very much a lady. I feel rather tall with her. I feel stately as she stands tall and straight, and I feel like she would have been someone who would have had a wonderful voice and would have been a speaker in some way. I feel like she would have been in charge of an organization of some sort, because I see her behind the podium and I see her speaking to people, and I feel like she would have been a great organizer. So I feel like in some ways this organization does fundraising and helps the needy, because I feel like she's very active in this organization that is working to help other people. And she raises funds to be given to other organizations. So I feel like she's coming in to talk to people who were in her organization with her, because I feel like she wants to reach out and give them a clap, because I feel like there are people that have carried on the things that she set into motion. And she's very happy and pleased that people are still taking care of those organizations that are helping those less fortunate than ourselves. And she said she started it, but I feel like she didn't have that many years in before she was ill and had to let go of the reins. But she set the stage, and I feel like she's telling me in her life she was a starter, not a finisher. So I feel like she did that in many different ways throughout her life. She would come in, get things going, and then off she'd go to her next thing. And she's telling me she got bored easily in life, and she didn't stick with things for too long, because she knew her expertise was in getting them started, getting things off the ground. So I feel like she said, I found my niche in getting things off the ground, and I learned how to bow out gracefully to let other people take charge. And she said not a lot of people get to understand that that's important, to be able to hand over the reins and let other people take charge of the organizations that you love. And she said, it wasn't easy for me at the beginning, but then I realized, oh, this is very good for me to not be so attached. And she's talking to me about helping people let go of their attachments. I feel like she's very sort of Buddhist in a way. I feel like she would have had some Buddhist training as connecting strongly with her in a spiritual way. She was very peaceful within, and she also understood not to be attached to any one thing, that you had to continue to move in life. And she said she moved quite a bit, and she went from one thing to the next, but she never left until things were in good hands. So she said there's a way to leave things. And I felt like she's talking directly to somebody who she was close to that is thinking about leaving some job or organization, and they're just not quite sure how to step away. And she said, always step away with grace and make sure it's left in good hands, and you will be very happy that you did. And because I feel like this person is second guessing, thinking maybe they shouldn't go, people won't get along without them. She said they will if you teach them right. So she said take some time to teach people that are working with you the ins and outs, and then you can bow out gracefully and there's no problem for anybody, yourself included. So I feel like she's talking to quite a number of people that she says there are a lot of people struggling right now that want to make changes in their life but feel attached to a particular job or organization. And she said, don't worry, there's always a moving on time in everybody's life. We're never meant to stay with one thing forever. So she's encouraging people, when you feel that wind of change come through you, just move with it and know that you can love what you did in the past, leave it with grace and leave it with joy and good-heartedness, and you'll be ready to open the new doors that are waiting for you, because there are always new doors. And she said she learned in her life, when one door closes, a whole lot of new doors open. So never fear that something else won't be there. So I feel like she's encouraging everyone to follow the flow of life, to make the changes in this new season that you feel you need to make. And she's a great example that you can do it with grace and joy and not leave any negative feelings behind. There are ways to leave places. Always leave them in good ways so that you carry only love in your heart. And I feel like she carries a lot of love in her heart for all the people she interacted with in life. And I feel like that was many, many people. And she wants to just send blessings to everybody that's listening. She says, just leave with grace and let yourself enjoy life. And I'm going to leave you with her blessings. She's a lovely, lovely lady. Thank you. Okay. Okay, she put me down. And now let's see who else is coming in. I feel like I have another lady coming in from the other side. And this lady is very different. She's rather short in stature, very petite in her build. I feel like she would have been very quiet in life and not been someone that would have been in charge of anything. I feel like she tells me she was a little bit like a wallflower, you know, in a party. She would be happy to be doing the work around, but she wasn't much of a conversationalist. She was a good listener, but she didn't always interact with people in a strong way. I feel like she's got sort of a quiet voice, but she's a very loving and very beautiful soul. And when people gave her the time and spent the time in opening her up, she did have quite a bit to say. I feel like she's very intelligent and she's very well read. She's showing me all kinds of books, and I also feel like she would have traveled. She would have loved to travel and see the world, and she learned a lot of little bits of information that most people wouldn't know, because she used to listen to everything, and she would study about the places that she went. And then when people engaged her in conversation, she had a lot to say and a lot to teach, but she would never be the one to bring it. you would have to sort of pull it out of her because she was very quiet and sort of shy, and she didn't like to call attention to herself. I feel like she's not showing me children of her own, but she is showing me family and nieces, and I feel like she would have had nieces that she would have been close to. And I feel like she was very generous with them in that. I feel like she would have given a trip to them for graduation. She was somebody who was generous with what she had, and she liked to give gifts to her nieces. And I feel like they were very good to her as well, she's telling me. And she said they took care of her, and they would come and visit her. And she really appreciated the visits that they spent time with her and talked to her. She loved to listen to the stories and the travels that they had. She loved when they came by and shared their little stories. And she said she doesn't think they realize how important that was to them. But she wants to say thank you for the times that you sat with me and talked to me, because that made my whole day, and it just lifted my heart, and you always made me smile. I feel like there's one in particular niece that had a really good sense of humor that would come and tell her jokes, and I feel like she would laugh and laugh from the jokes you would tell. Even if you told the same joke 5 times, she'd still laugh those 5 times. But she loved you, and she wants to come in to tell you how much she loved you and how much she appreciated the time you spent with her and the attention you gave to her. And she said you always filled her heart with love. And she said, I'm here to remind people to spend some time with those quiet ones, the quiet people in your life that you can sometimes just forget they're there. You can just, leave them in the corner and let them be and not pay much attention. And she said, when you do that, they just stay in that corner. But she was very appreciative of the people that would stop and ask her questions and pull herself out of herself, so that she would share something of herself. Sometimes people need a little bit of help, and she did. She needed help in sharing what was inside of her. So when you find that person that isn't sharing or kind of hides in the corner, go and spend some time with them. They may have just the wisdom you're looking for, because you never know what's inside those quiet ones. She said there's a lot of mystery in those quiet ones, and there's a lot of wisdom too. So pay attention to the quiet ones in the family and spend some time with them, listening to them and getting them to talk. And I leave you with her blessings and lots of love. She's a very loving soul as she steps up. Quiet but loving. And strong, very strong within her. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay, I have a gentleman who's stepping in very strongly. I feel like I'm having a difficult time breathing with him. I feel like he would have had lung issues before he passed, because I'm gasping for breath before, while I'm aging. I feel like he would have had COPD or emphysema, something with the lungs, because moving was very difficult for him. I feel like by the end of his life, he couldn't do much. He was pretty much in one place. Couldn't move very well because the lungs were just done. But he's telling me that in his younger days, he smoked a lot, so he had something to do with that, and he regrets that to this day. He said, if we only knew then what you know now, we never would have smoked. We never would have done the things we did. But we didn't know any better, so I feel like he's in that generation like mine, when you didn't know that it was so dangerous when you're young. But he said he smoked most of his life. I do feel like he quit before he got really ill, but it was too late when he gave up those smokes, and he had done the damage. But I feel like as he was older, it's when it really hit him. and I feel like I'm in a nursing facility before I pass. I feel like he's coming in as a grandfather to someone, and I feel like he's coming in to talk to his grandchildren and let them know that he survived. He survived death. He's still here. And he said, it was a surprise to me. So I feel like as I'm blending with this gentleman, he wouldn't have been of the belief that life continues after death. He didn't, when he was here, he said, I didn't give it a lot of thought. I don't feel like he was a religious man. I feel like he just lived his day, and one day after the other, and he sort of did what he wanted to do and tried to live a good life, but he didn't give a lot of thought to the afterlife. And so he said, I was pleasantly surprised when I found myself still here and still able to communicate and still able to see my loved ones and see my family grow. And he's letting me know that since his passing, there have been 1 or 2 grandchildren born. So I feel like he's excited to say, I was able to see that new children coming into the family after I'm gone, and I'm not missing anything. So he's very excited to be able to let you know that he still exists, that he's still very much a part of your lives, and very happy that life continues. As he's coming in, I feel like he's making me very tired as he comes around me, and so I feel like life really dragged him down, because he's bringing me back to that breathing and the difficulty getting around and how tired he would get. I'm seeing him in the chair just dozing off every chance he got because he had no more energy left. And I feel like he wants to talk to his son. I feel like his son is here, and he's talking to the son about taking better care of himself so that he will have more energy to be around those grandkids. So I feel like the children born were his great-grandchildren, and he's talking to his son, who was the grandfather to these babies, and he's saying, you got to take good care of yourself and make sure you have plenty of energy to run around with them, because you want to enjoy every minute that you can. And he said, I didn't do everything in my life that I should have done, and I didn't live my life probably in the best possible way. He said, but as I look back, I want to share with you and everyone the importance of taking care of yourself and maintaining that energy level. You know, eat healthy and get the right sleep, and don't put all those poisons into your system the way I did, because you won't make it long. So, and it's no fun. So I feel like he's quite a character as he sort of settles in here, and he's joking around. And I feel like he would have been a jokester in his younger years. He would have made light of everything and just sort of continued on over the rough spots. And he's saying, just go with the flow of life, but maintain your health and your happiness. Your health and your happiness go hand in hand, he tells me. And he said, when you take care of yourself and you're healthy, then you can really live a happy life. And that's what he wants for you and all of his family. And he wants that for everybody. Health and happiness go hand in hand. So do the best you can to stay healthy and strong and live a good, long life. And he's happy to be able to watch all the good things that are happening in your lives. And I leave you with his love and blessings. And there's a great joy that comes from him. And it's the joy that he found out that life continues. And he said, you'll never know how excited that made me feel. And so I'm going to leave you with that excitement and that joy. And I think we have time for one more. Let's see who's coming in. Okay, let's get the breathing. Yeah. Okay, I feel like I have another woman coming in, and I feel like she's got a walker. So I feel like she would have been in a nursing facility as well. And she's coming in with a walker, and I feel like she's really quick with it. She's really spry. Like she's telling me the walker was just for balance. My feet and my legs were in good shape. And because I feel like she's got the walker and then she's marching with it. So I feel like she kept herself in really good shape, and she was able to get around, and she was sharp as a tack. And I feel like she was very smart in her life and very busy in her life. And as she got older, her mind stayed sharp. And she'd do puzzles, and she'd do Sudoku, and she's showing me her pencil and her little magazines that she'd carry in her pocket. And she'd sit down when she had a spare minute, and she'd do these little games to keep her mind sharp. And she said, it's important to keep your mind sharp, because I didn't want to fall back into not remembering everything. She said, I started to not remember things, and so I worked really hard at keeping my mind as sharp as I could. But I feel like she's talking to her children. I feel like she has a number of children, and I think 6. I'm being shown the number 6. So I feel like she would have had 6 children, and she would have raised them well. I feel like her husband passed before her, and she had a number of years that she was alone with the kids, and she had to do everything. But she said, I could handle it. She's a very matter-of-fact, organized, strict in the way things need to be done. And I feel like she was so organized, she was able to handle it all with ease. And she was very disciplined in that way. She's telling me that in life there's a choice that you make. You can be disciplined and take charge of yourself and do what's needed to be done and continue through life in that way, or you can be a victim and think about poor me and I'm not able to do this and struggle and suffer. And she said, I wasn't going to struggle and I wasn't going to suffer. I was too strong for that. And so I pulled up my bootstraps and I did what needed to be done. And I feel like she's saying my kids learned to do that too. And she said, I taught them well, and I see them all standing up for themselves and doing what needs to be done. There are no victims in my bunch, she says. No victims in my bunch. They're all strong and they're all capable. And if they ever forget, they remind each other. And she said, that's what I taught them. Because sometimes you have a moment of weakness, and that's when you pull together and you remind each other that you can do it. So I feel like she's coming in to pat you all on the back and to remind you to keep patting each other on the back, to keep pushing forward and keep reminding each other that you can all do it. And you lend that helping hand when one needs it, but you're all capable and strong, and the reminder is what you're there to give each other, and to stand there in support of each other as each one pulls up their bootstraps. So I feel like she wants to say, I'm very proud of my kids. I'm very proud of who they've become. And I want to make sure that they teach their children the same thing they were taught, because it's the only way to go. She said, I enjoyed my life fully from the beginning to the very end. And she said, I did my best to stay strong until the very end. And she said, and I had a very peaceful death, and I knew that I was loved. And she said, thanks to my kids. They were there for me. I knew that they loved me, and I took their love with me when I passed. And my love continues to stay around you. So I'm going to leave you with her love and her blessings. She's a very beautiful soul, and she knew how to live and she knew how to die. She said, I knew how to let go when it was the right time, and I didn't struggle. And she said, and that's something everybody needs to learn. When you let go and when You don't have to struggle anymore. And she said, that's when I found the deep peace that I found. And I'm going to leave you with that peace and that love and the joy that she has in her spirit, because she was definitely a very joyful spirit. I leave you with her blessings and lots of love. And I thank all of the loved ones from the Spirit Side of Life who were with us today. I know there are so many here present with you. Please open your heart and listen to them, because they talk to your heart. They bring their messages to you right into your heart, and know that they are around you and that you're never alone, that life truly does continue. Thank you. And now we have just a few announcements before we close our service. Tomorrow night is Medium's Night. That's from 7 to 9. I'm not sure if there's any openings, but you can always send me an email and check with me. It is tomorrow night, 7 to 9. And April Medium's Day is going to be held on Sunday from 1 to 3 on April 25th. So if you missed March 29th, you can send me an email and I can book you for April 25th. And don't forget, our Fun Friday game night is the first Friday of the month, April 2nd from 7 to 8. It's just 1 hour. And we have a Team Jeopardy game planned, and the link is on our website. Classes are starting. If you're still interested in the Introduction to Class, Introduction to Spiritualism class, you can email me and let me know, because we're going to be starting that very shortly. So we're just waiting for a few more people to sign up, but send me an email if you are interested. And donations to the church can be made on our website and also on Venmo at GBC Spiritualism, and also on Facebook. And we appreciate all of your support. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page, and please share the video. And we'll see you next time. And now if you'll join me in our closing prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we give thanks for the healing, for the light, and the peace that you've brought us here today. Help us to carry it into our world. Help us to make this world a better place. Help us to remember that we are an expression of you on earth. So let us shine brightly and be the light for every person we encounter. We give thanks for the knowledge, for the peace, and we give thanks for this great religion that was founded 173 years ago. May we continue to honor it and share it with all people who are interested. Amen. Thanks for joining us. See you all next week.